Welcome back by a new video on my channel. Today I want to talk about Boogie and the way he is degrading himself. So if you don't know, Boogie and Winx or Redemption have a podcast together. It's called The Low Cow, and Winx and Boogie are on it, and Boogie already messed up the entire podcast with something stupid he did, and Keemstar is all angry with Boogie, and the future of this podcast is unknown. So Boogie basically started talking on the other podcast and started, sharing the drama / beef on the other podcast, and Keemstar got really angry about it because Keemstar obviously wanted that drama / beef to be on their own podcast, The Low Cow, so they can monetize it and get money from it. But obviously my man Boogie couldn't shut his mouth for a minute, so let's go into the clip.
Prior to calling in, Keemstar claims he asked Boogie not to go on because Boogie will give away far too much. He believed that Boogie should hash out his own drama on his own podcast, making his own money, and not give that content away for free to others.
Keemstar even told Boogie not to do it, but Boogie obviously cannot keep his mouth shut for longer than a couple minutes. He even says, I'm not gonna do it, I'm just gonna pop in and say hey, no drama. But obviously the dude started asking Boogie questions, and Boogie obviously just couldn't resist himself. He needed to have that dopamine high, he needed to have that attention, because that turns Boogie on for some reason. Don't ask me why, but if Boogie would just have listened to Keemstar, he wouldn't be in this situation in the first place. He even lied to Keemstar, so yeah, I do understand why someone would be angry about this. Maybe Boogie is the type of person you just need to put duct tape on his mouth to make him shut up.
In fact, I know Keemstar completely blew a gasket when Muda called in and had the big climax that he envisioned for our show on Review Tech USA's stream.
What's up, Muda? I am glad you are here, because I am not equipped to handle this right now. Hello, sir.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm over on Twitch
you
playing
missed my $50 super chatalization.
Have you played this mood? It's excellent.
A few minutes later.
I never did, but I didn't.
That's what he told us.
But you are factually incorrect, because I never did.
To be fair here to Boogie, Muda joined the live stream as well and started talking about the drama and beef they have together as well. So he's in the wrong for doing this as well, because obviously Keemstar wants that to be happening on his own podcast, The Low Cow, not on some random dude's podcast, obviously. Because if you would have done something like Boogie versus Muda, and you would have streamed it or something on the podcast, you can get a lot of views, because both Muda and Boogie obviously have a big audience. And I think if you would have made an episode or a live stream or do something like that, it definitely would get a lot of clicks. So I do understand Keemstar's point of view here, but instead Boogie and Muda are doing it on some other person's podcast.
Did I speak about that publicly until you made
Yes, it's on your Twitter feed.
Yeah, I quote tweeted you. Because you were bringing it up publicly. Yes,
no,
I did.
you didn't. That was a completely separate tweet.
They both don't hold back. They go fully after each other. Keemstar must be so angry watching this. He's legit being so angry because he can see all the money fly away from him. Because obviously, if he would have done this on his own podcast, The Low Cow, obviously you get a shitload of money, because who doesn't want to see a beef between Muda and Boogie and they start screaming at each other? That's funny as hell, let's be real, I would watch that. So after Boogie told everything on the other podcast, Keemstar got a mental breakdown and became really angry towards Boogie. He called Boogie every single word in the book. He used a really colorful language I cannot show on this channel because YouTube is not gonna like that, but if you want to see it for yourself, your boy is putting a link of this episode in the description so you can watch it on your own. I do recommend that because it's pretty funny. He really goes after Boogie, and Boogie just gets degraded in his DMs like nothing else you ever seen.
Have a face-off with Muda on Rich's stream. The face-off between you and Muda should be on your podcast. That's monetized. That you make money. You to get on your hands and knees, have your girlfriend film you and say, I'm sorry Keemstar, I'm sorry Jordy, I'm sorry.
Well, that was definitely something. So after that, Boogie obviously became really sad and he starts doing a full apology, going on his knees even later on, which is even more degrading for a grown man to do, but Boogie doesn't seem to be caring about that, and this situation could just be easily avoided if Boogie wasn't so attention horny. Let's be real, if Boogie would have not said anything, this entire situation could have been avoided. But I thought at the beginning of this podcast, when I saw who the people were that were on it, I was thinking about myself, this podcast, first of all, is going to be a shit show. Second of all, it's probably not going to last for a long time, because you have Wings of Redemption and Boogie on the same podcast. Like, let's be real here, that podcast is not going to have a long future, and we see it right now. I don't know if Boogie is legit fired or is he going to come back. Who really knows? Maybe Keemstar gets like less angry and forgives Boogie.
I'm sorry, Tommy C. I'm sorry, Daddy Keemstar. I'm sorry, Nicholas Di Fiorio. I don't know how to pronounce him. I'm sorry, George.
Oh no, Boogie legit did this. This is so degrading. Boogie should have said, I'm not gonna do that, Keemstar. I'm sorry for what happened, but I'm gonna leave the show and this is gonna be the end. But instead of that, he's going to degrade himself. I don't know if his girlfriend is around, but if his girlfriend is seeing this, I mean, that is just even more degrading. A grown man on his knees for a YouTube podcast. I think you cannot go any lower. I don't see any scenario where you can legit go any lower than that. It's so degrading. If I was Boogie, I would be saying, I'm sorry for the situation, I shouldn't have been talking on the other podcast. If you're not gonna fire me, I'm fine with that, I'm sorry. But instead he's going to even do what Keemstar asked, because Keemstar obviously wants to be degrading Boogie because he's mad at Boogie. But the fact that he is legit doing this, I don't see Wings of Redemption even doing that, and that's saying something. Boogie, get some balls and don't do this. Don't let yourself be degraded like this, man. Don't you have any self-respect or honor left in you, Boogie? Imagine your parents seeing this. I don't know if they're still alive, but imagine their son being 50 on their knees begging for a YouTube influencer to not stop the YouTube podcast. I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm in a simulation because that entire situation just sounds crazy, but Boogie is willing to go on his knees like a good boy begging to not get fired. Like, bruh.
You gave basically episode 3 of the podcast away! You gave it to Review Tech USA. Did you see how much money Review Tech was getting? Dude, he's in their stream, Muta and Boogie are going back and forth. $100 donation, $50 donation, $20 donation, $5, $10 donation, $100 donation. Doesn't have a mortgage to pay.
That is true as well what Keemstar is saying here. Boogie has been begging for money for such a long time. He made so many videos begging for money, and now there is a chance of making money, and he screwed it up talking to another person about the drama, because I know if they would have live streamed this stuff on their own podcast, it would have made some good money, and Boogie really needs that money because he screwed it up with the crypto stuff. He did some really stupid things. Now he's broke, now he needs money, and there is a way that he can make money, but he is obviously screwing that up for himself. I just don't understand how Boogie is always in a situation like that. Why is he not using his brain? If he would just have simply shut his mouth and not have said anything about the beef or the drama, he could have made some good money, but instead of that he needed to be a good attention seeker and tell it to another person. He's like an addict, he can just not control himself. He just needed to share it, he just needed to spill the beef on that podcast, and it cost him a lot of money, and I don't think people feel too bad for Boogie at this point. But what do you think about this situation and the way Keemstar reacted to it? Leave it down in the comment section. I'd love to hear your opinion about it. If you enjoyed today's video, then subscribe so you get notified when I upload another video. Press the like button, helps obviously the algorithm with promoting the videos, and I will see you all in the next video.